At the party.
Oh, no,
No, there was...
Yeah, the other gig, yeah. Yeah, there's the only other one I did, actually. Both times I performed, you've been there.
That's right.
The only two times in Toronto.
It's true.
You're her greatest fan. Like, you actually have stopped me there. Like, why is he there every time?
Gonna rock this happy tune. Summer and the birthday with my friend.
If I knew the words, I would sing it too.
Isn't that an amazing track? That is an amazing pop song. Happy Tunes by Blue Venus, whom I just saw recently at the Silver Dollar, along with the Happy Hollows from Los Angeles. So that was a very cool night. A couple of announcements before we talk to Gaye. One, Nik Beat, the great and powerful, has an art show, 5 pieces. Welcome to Hollywood. Our new pieces at the gallery Catalyst, 666 Queen Street West, this Saturday night from 7 till 10 p.m. You have to RSVP the event because it's pretty exclusive. Please do so. And also let me know too at nikbeatmb@yahoo.com, and I can slot you in because we have to slot people in different hours between 7 and 10. Because there's a ton of people come to these things. It's like absolutely packed. In fact, we had people had to be escorted out of the event by the police that we have there because it's so packed that we have to circulate and all these other wonderful things. But anyway, so that's my art show. I do pop collage art, so if you want to come out to that, it's free, food and drink. Brian Liss is the art gallery owner. He also owns Liss Art Gallery in Yorkville, which contains art by Ringo Starr, by, Ron Wood of the Rolling Stones, and unbelievable people. Billy D. Williams, and on and on and on. Now, I'm going to do a little announcement of Gaye Boston. She sent me a little thing here. Gaye Boston has been on CIUT many times as a guest poet, model, artist, and entrepreneur. Recently, as a novelist, Gaye is writing Back to Your Eyes, her first fiction book, which you'll be hearing an excerpt from today. So, and she also has another far more serious project on the go that she would rather come on as a guest at different times to discuss. I do not want to mix the two initiatives, says Gaye, and I don't blame her. That's a very sensible request. Gaye, welcome back to Howl again.
Thank you so much for having me, Nick. I love it.
It's great to have you back here. Now, you've got a new book, MS manuscript, so to speak.
Yes.
Has it got a publisher yet?
No, I'm still writing. I have 3 chapters left. There are 14 chapters in all, and it's told in reverse. So from October, go in reverse for 1 full year. And it's all about trysts and people having affairs. It does take place in Toronto, so the actual geographic locations are accurate, but then everything else is fiction. Fiction.
So that means it's fiction. In other words, it's a lie?
It's
no.
a lie. Well, yeah.
It's not a lie.
It's imagination.
It's imagination, that's right. Because it's always silly when people say, I write what I know. I mean, if we stuck to that, there wouldn't be Alice in Wonderland, there wouldn't be The Wizard of Oz. I mean, we can't just stick with what we know. And even what we know is mythical anyway.
Exactly.
So, I'm going to let you read.
Okay. So, when I first met Jean Vaz, he bussed at the Spotted Dick, a pub on the south side of Bloor Street, east of the Xerox building and Yonge Street, which housed a monthly French-speaking meetup group that I attended. Jean also waited at Arlequin, this new shishi-poo-poo restaurant on the fringe of Yorkville at 134 Avenue Road that has since gone belly up. Jean got fired from the Spotted Dick, and before he could start his next shift at Arlequin, he met me and we started Camp Us. Arlequin was run by a redneck spoiled brat whose father was bankrolling the dive, which was going straight up his son's nose. This was bad company and one of the reasons why Jean and Tracy had a falling out. But like with every ended relationship, love was its beginning. When I first met Jean, I called all of my friends to tell them of the ringing changes. But here's an email I sent to MA, which sums up those telephone exchanges. From Kiss a Bright to Aimé Lamé, I'm on Love Baroque. My dearest sweet French tickler, that is Aimé. Presently, my life cycle has come around again to coddle. Is there a lesson I didn't see when I was 20? Or is it simply that I should have taken a left turn at Albuquerque? I'm in love with Jean. He's a photographer. And the doctor whose head I chopped off so that Jean could now lay comfortably in my bed is a schizophrenic pile of rubble, a twin to depression and procrastination's double. Needless to say, we made quite an awkward couple. The tyranny of love makes me want to tie an anchor around my ankle and use your magical Mediterranean salt water to make it all dissolve. But then came Jean Bez, whose name, when simply spoken aloud, could be heard as Jean Bez. And that, as you already know, means I fuck in French, and man, does he ever. He and me can surely be, as I'm positive that that is the answer to Shakespeare's question, because there goes my clinical depression. Jean and I started Camp Us, a fashion magazine that caters to the university crowd, and our motto is dress smart or don't dress at all. So we always do a double spread of one model dressed in great fashion-forward garments on her way to a philosophy class or some other, and right beside, on the opposite page, that same model is nude hiding behind a light pole or something. Yes, quite risque and taboo, but the point is that the undressed model is unable to get to class and is missing out on an important lesson. Camp Us is a great sensation, and the university students just gobble it right up. You should see how they come out in droves and line up for the first copies that are usually all gone within a week or so. You'd think that the students were using our mag to compile some great works like John Reed's 10 Days That Shook the World, albeit always happily humming away to read in the pub, like when John was president of the Harvard Glee Club. Really though, Camp Us is the big mag on campus and has taken off like your syndicate. It's Too Much, Be It True is here. By the way, what season are you in there with C'est trop que ce soit vrai anyway? It must be the bazillionth by now. You're so cool. Okay, Muya, I must go, but I have much more to mention. Please make do with this and my so sad adieu. Mind you, it will only be a short while till I again contact you. Still always, kissa. That was the wonderful Parisian Jean Bez, who I loved so dearly. He loved to fuck, clean, and cook. I remember a time about 3.5 years or so into our relationship when we were having a dinner party, which we'd had regularly. We were artists, so our dinner parties were always themed. We called them TV dinners. And I'd send out emails in advance to let our guests know what the theme would be. Usually, an email would state a certain topic of discussion the guest was to speak about that night. Or sometimes the email would give secret, private, and personal information about the person they were to be seated beside, which may or may not have been the truth. But under no circumstances were our guests allowed to divulge what they received in their emails, as every TV dinner was not the same, nor was every guest made aware that there would be a theme per se. When all the guests arrived, they were seated where their names were, and Jean and I would watch the night unfold and laugh. And when a guest would look up at us, we'd either all smile knowingly, or we'd shake our heads, raise our brows, and with bulged eyes look around puzzled while shrugging our shoulders like as if to say, I have no idea what's going on, which were the times I enjoyed the most. Either way, I'd never have let on that I knew anything anyway.
Wow. Holy crow. That's Gaye Boston and CIUT's Howl Radio. This is Nik Beat, choked up a little bit and out of air and gas and other things. That's fantastic, actually, Gaye. I love that. I hope you're enjoying that. We're going to take a little break with an ad and be back with more of Howl Radio and Gaye Boston. That's great, Gaye.
That was awesome, Gaye.
It's like
God.
the hot part comes
So there'll be
next.
2 more minutes
Okay.
with you. Then I'm going to introduce you.
Okay.
And then
Start
song.
with the song. Okay.
If we have time, I'll play the CD at the end of the show. Hey, we're back. It's Nik Beat. Yes, sir. We are back. And this is Howl, spoken word show, poetry, art, music, and talk. on 89.5. We're talking to Gaye Boston. Gaye, so you don't have a publisher, but you're looking for one, in other words.
Yes.
Are you looking for a literary agent for them?
Well, I'm looking for anything if anyone's willing to jump in on and be a part of. Sure, I will discuss anything with anyone.
Now, aren't you an agent yourself, or have been?
I have been, and that was in the music industry, and I found, the talent that I liked. They were young. And that was one aspect of what made me shy away from actually committing to that industry. In effect, if you're young, you still think and know that you can conquer the world on your own. So I had to let them go and do just that. And hopefully they are successful at it. But they never want someone there to help them out, if you will.
That's interesting, because I've heard that before from other agents and managers, and that's a very interesting complex about the whole, you can say that about the whole music industry. This is Nik Beat. We're talking to Gaye Boston in about a minute. We're going to be talking to and listening to music by RoseAnne Archibald, and then we're going to be talking to a good friend of mine I haven't seen in a long time, Loranda. Sorry, Laura Fernandez, who has her own radio show, actually, a Latino show that we're going to be talking about and letting people know about. Gaye, okay, so you're looking for a literary agent, you're looking for publishing. What genre would you say this fits into?
Well, this is romance, and it's cross-media, so it is a book, but it incorporates, like you just saw, an email that I would have sent to Kissa's best friend, which is Aimée Lamé, and Kissa is the protagonist in the story. And the gist is that she is having an affair with a lawyer, and who works downtown Toronto, but she's also married, so she shouldn't even be having an affair, and she's so concerned about her lover being used by, some other who is using him for his money. And so it's this whole tangle, and sometimes you can have affairs and it work out for your benefit, but sometimes you can have an affair and it's like everyone says.
Can people access the MS at all, or read some kind of synopsis or excerpt on an e-book kind of idea, or online?
Eventually that will come, because it is a 360 marketing. There are texts, there are conversations being summarized over the telephone, there are emails, there's LinkedIn, there's Twitter, so every medium is being hit, Facebook, so there's a lot of posts, so the story advances where you kind of meet the person like you would in real life. This might be the first time that the name Kissa Bright comes up to the reader. This is an excerpt from the prologue, but you kind of learn little by little. You might see a picture of one person, and that's what gives you a lead into who that possibly may be. It won't be just complete description from the narration of it.
Let's recap again what the name of the book is ostensibly going to be.
It's called Back to Your Eyes.
Okay, Gaye Boston, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, Nick.
It's great to have you back again. This is fantastic. Remember, a week from tonight is fundraiser night. We're trying to raise funds for Howl to keep it on the air, and CIUT too. So we are now going to be talking to the lovely, the talented RoseAnne Archibald. Let's let you know a little bit about RoseAnne. RoseAnne was born in an upside down ambulance. That explains it, okay. On the bank of Trappers Creek in Northern Ontario. She is an Inuit, okay, I'm terrible at pronouncing things, which is Cree, and is status card carrying member of Taigamo First Nation. She received her Bachelor of Arts degree and Master of Arts degree in Humanities from Laurentian University. In addition, RoseAnne graduated 2 certificates in digital filmmaking, British Columbia Institute of Technology. We're very happy to have RoseAnne. How are you? Good to see you again.
Great, thanks. I'm glad to be here.
I met you at a party at Mary Lou Patchell's place.
That's right. Gaye I had played my guitar, or I played Gaye's husband's guitar in her house, and she said, "Oh my God, there's an event tonight. You have to come to it." So away I went, and I did a song toward the end of the night, and people loved it. I was so grateful. And so then here we are. I mean, Gaye suggested we do the radio show together, and I'm glad she did because I'm really nervous.
You're doing fine, lady. I mean, you know, we're all a little bit nervous. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen next, and that's the way. That's why Shakespeare was always wrong. It's just the world isn't a stage because we don't know what we're going to do or say most of the time. Wow, this is interesting. So we now have the mascot of our show, the pet kitten, Tarene, I think. He's always trying to get